Hey, friend. Welcome to the Human Design Diaries, a Soul Aligned Sisters podcast. Here we will delve into the fascinating world of human design. In this series, we'll cover the basics, dive deep into the gates and channels, and share plenty of laughs and magic. Join us as we explore how human design can guide you to live a more soul aligned life. Get ready for insightful conversations full of practical tips and insights to help you on your journey. Let's explore.
Should we chat about our real life unicorns, the reflectors or calibrators?
Yes.
This is our last type.
I feel like I've only met one
Yeah.
so far in life. I don't know
Yeah.
how many chart readings have you done with reflectors? Like how talk about
I
how
I've
rare they are.
I've I have I think encountered three,
Yeah.
three out
Yeah.
of
4 years.
hundreds, yeah, hundreds of
Right.
people.
Yeah.
Um Yeah, the calibrators or reflectors are 1% of the population. So they're extremely rare. And what makes their chart different than everybody else's chart is that all of their energy centers, the triangles, diamonds, squares, the 9 energy centers are white, meaning
Mhm.
that they don't have any consistent energy of their own. They're bringing in energy from the world around them and amplifying it. So
Mhm.
they are like when you talk about sensitive, they are incredibly sensitive.
Wow.
It can be very hard for them to understand what is theirs and what is somebody else's, but there's purpose in that. Their purpose is to be sort of the barometer of well-being for the communities that they are situated in. So we know by looking at them and their well-being, how well are we? What is the vibe? That's why I said, like, on the train, they're like, how's the vibe in here?
Yeah, I
If
love that. I love they're the ones that are like the party or the party
Yeah.
host, if you
Yes.
will.
They're
Like
like
the
they're like we
easiest fun job.
Mhm.
Like how is this vibe? So
Yeah.
I don't know, Jill, you've had a couple of reflectors like recently. How
Mhm.
are we doing?
It's hard out there. I
Yeah.
mean, it depends a lot on where they are. If they're in communities that feel good to them, then, they are experiencing the benefits of that. If they are not in communities that feel good to them, or if they're not in places that really recognize them and take care of them and honor them for who they are, then it is harder for them.
Mhm.
Because they are so sensitive, um, they are deeply impacted by the well-being of the people around them. So if they're not doing well, then they might have to move. They might have to quit their job, right? If they're in a toxic environment, they're going to feel like shit.
Yeah.
So, and then the other challenge that they have, I think, is that they and this goes like right into their strategy, and so we'll kind of we'll go there and then we can double back.
Okay.
But their strategy is to wait a lunar cycle. So what does that mean? Basically, whatever decision they need to make, they need to wait like a month to be able to decide. That is like so unrealistic.
Why is that?
Because
Why
as
so long?
they because they're open, and they like all the way open. They are getting definition as the moon transits through the gates in the human design chart. And depending on where it is, at what time of the month, they might feel differently. So, how this was described to me by a calibrator or a reflector was that, like, if you ask me on one day, I'll tell you one thing. If you ask me on another day, I'll tell you something different. Like it's very hard to pin them down because their feelings change about it. And my what I recommended, or what I said to that person who shared that, was like, don't think that like what you're sharing is not relevant. Like wherever you're at in your lunar cycle, like if you're sharing information with somebody, or you're giving them your thoughts about something that they're doing, or you're thinking through your own thing, it's relevant information to you. The sort of hitch to all of this is that they actually don't often, like, how often do we allow people a month to decide? Like,
Yeah.
not very often. Like,
I
everything is a
mean,
sense of urgency.
yeah, yeah. Um, it is. And but also like when you are faced with like huge, if you're saying like when they're not doing well, they need to make major changes. Like
Mm-hmm.
how, how often most people get a good amount of time to decide on whether to make, huge
Mm-hmm.
changes.
Mm-hmm.
But how do I guess like I think for them, they probably struggle because I'm an empath. I imagine they are consistently confused on what is theirs and what is somebody
Mm-hmm.
else's.
Yeah.
Um, and how do they determine that? Like, and
Yeah.
that can inform how they decide things, right? Like,
Mm-hmm. Totally.
you know.
Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, that's the difficulty with having open centers, is one, not sure what's yours and what somebody else's, or how you feel about something. And two, like, those are places where we are more likely to carry conditioning from the people around us, or from our, our life experiences, or what have you, where we are open. So, like, really, them figuring out who they are can be hard, can be really, really challenging. And so for calibrators or reflectors, I often am recommending, like, you need alone time. You need time by yourself. Like, find time to be alone so that you can discharge some of the energy, so that you can have a sense of, like, how do you really feel about something. Take as much time as you can to make decisions in your life, and don't be afraid to, like, make big moves. However, like the orchestrator or projector type, calibrators or reflectors should also be invited into the big things in life. And I
Mm,
think, for them, I think that being invited in can help them get with the right people. And being with the right people is super important, because if there's some place where they're not really wanted, they're going to feel that deeply. And so having, like, a close knit group of friends, like, some trusted people in their life, being in an environment that's healthy, being in a job that's healthy, all of those things will make or break their own well-being. So, because they're just, like, the energy is just moving through them at all times. So, someone said along the way, if we were smart, we would put reflectors at the center of our community and take care of
mhm.
them. And through the reflection, that, through their well-being and what we see, that's a reflection to us. And so we would know how sick or how healthy are we in that community. So finding a place that really honors them and sees them for who they are, even if that's just a small group of people, I think is really, really important for their experience, because it's not easy, especially in these crazy times,
Yeah.
to be so sensitive and so open.
So what are some of the roles that they, can play when it comes to like personal relationships or jobs? Like what things should they, be doing or setting themselves up to live true to their design?
I mean, again, I think people can do whatever is interesting to them. I would say that, one, making sure that they're in a culture or community that uh, is focused on well-being is important. Um, I think they would do great in roles that, like, are culture building type roles, right? Where we can kind of sense how healthy or what changes need to be made, because they're reading that at all times. So any place where I think, relationships are important, or the culture or the health of the organization or community or family is important, that we place them in a position to be able to tell us, like, what changes do we need to make, what's the feeling of what's going on here. I hate to say it, but I was thinking, like, HR would be maybe good, if
I was
HR was concerned about how the culture is, like really wanted a true sense of it, like not just like a fake sense of it to make everybody feel good
Yeah.
and leadership,
Yeah.
but really really wanted to know and really really wanted to do something about it, that they can sense it, so yeah.
You could also see them like doing type of marketing
Yeah.
roles,
Yes.
marketing
Mhm.
related roles, because
Mhm.
I would assume that these people have a really good sense of the collective energy
Mhm.
trends, and like they probably are exposed or aware of, very slight changes
Mhm.
to things. So
Mhm.
I would think they could use their sensitivity um,
Mhm.
as a superpower for sure.
Yeah, I love that idea. I think that would be, and really pick up on like, what is this marketing campaign trying to achieve, or what's the feel of it, or like, what is the
Yeah.
energy behind it? Yeah, totally. I think
Yeah.
that would be awesome for them. So wherever they end up, they just need to be with people who care about them, who love them, and who are uh more healthy than they are not.
Yeah. And so, with that in mind, like how impactful is the dominant culture on their understanding of who they are and their, the space they take up in this society?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be very sensitive to conditioned behaviors.
Yeah.
They, if they don't know about their design, they may find themselves shifting and molding depending on who they're with. They may find themselves adopting ideas, belief system, ways of being that are not really true for them, that are not really correct for them. And they may not find that, like figure that out until they're out of it, until they have moved away, until they have like ended a relationship, until they like left the work situation. They may not understand that. So I think it's important for them to be aware that, and this is true for anybody who has any white in their chart at all, like those are the places where we are more likely to adopt somebody else's ideas and beliefs and ways of being, um, that are not necessarily true for us as true for us. So I think just being aware of that can really help them to determine, like, okay, what do I want to do here? Because they're going to feel it nonetheless. Like, you're going to feel it anyway. But the question is, like, do you want to own it, or do you want to let it go? Like, is it helping you? I think it's important to think of openness as, we talk about it in human design as a gift, that it allows you to
Yeah.
experience like the world in a very deep way, and all of the different ways that people are, and different ideas and different belief systems and all of that. Like, you can really experience that energetically, but it's important to know that it's not yours, and like you
Be
actually
a,
get to choose.
yeah, be a
Yeah.
screen, not a sponge.
Yes, that's what Karen Curry Parker says. Be a screen, not a sponge. So
Yeah.
experience it, but know that it's okay to let it go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, reflectors.
Yes, I know.
Um, well, this was a really good conversation. I enjoyed talking about each one and the types and strategies that are out there. And I think it's really important for people to, learn about each one. And
Mhm.
the more you learn about human design, the better you will get at sort of like looking at someone and being like, oh, you're a projector, or
Mhm.
oh, you're a manifesting generator,
Mhm.
or like whatever.
Mhm.
But it gives you it, to me, it's again portal to compassion. It moves you from judgment to curiosity,
Mhm.
and we need a little bit more of that in this world,
Mhm.
because I think things are becoming people are becoming increasingly intolerant of each other, and I feel like human design is a bridge.
Mhm.
It can help us get over that intolerance and start to accept each other and be productive in relationships. Um, and that's not just, I'm just talking relationships generally, like work, life, friends, family, loved ones, like, it can really be a positive, impactful tool.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that whether or not somebody is actually the type that you think that they are is almost besides the point,
Right.
because it offers you a place where you can say, oh, I know this one. Oh, I've
Yes.
seen this before. Oh, it's not this person is a bad person. It's like,
Right.
no, this person is behaving in this way for some reason. And maybe it's not, doesn't feel great to me right now, but maybe
Right.
it's just an expression of how the world works, right? Like
Absolutely.
we are here to experience life in the range of experiences that are possible for us, and some of those, when we're talking about energy expressions, some of it is high expression, some of it is a medium or middle of the road expression, some of it is a low expression. It all just is, right? It's part of the experience. And so I think if you can get underneath that and focus less on like what the action is or what the thing is that they're doing, and see that there might be more at play, or maybe it's just a more natural way that they operate that they don't know about, that's rubbing you the wrong way, that you can find a place where you can not cast them out, but maybe call them in, maybe
Mm.
have a conversation, maybe find a new way, or maybe accept them for who they are.
Correct. And move whatever that means for you.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yep.
totally.
Mm.
Yes. Well, this was fun. Thank you
Yep.
for asking all your probing questions and helping me
My
walk
pleasure.
through type in strategy. I think it was a great conversation. Should give some people a little bit to chew on and hopefully spark their uh, pique their interest, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
on looking into their own type in strategy for themselves and seeing what it means for them.
Yep. Absolutely. My pleasure. Until next
Thank
time.
you. Okay. See ya.
Thanks again for joining us on this episode of Human Design Diaries. We hope that you love this episode as much as we did. Please take whatever resonates with you and leave the rest. If you're ready to dive deeper, visit our website at soulalignedsisters.com, where you'll find a wealth of free resources to support your journey. In our store, you can request a free human design chart, purchase low-cost reports, or even book a personalized reading with Jill. Be sure to explore our blog's Human Design Library, filled with stories and insights to help you get aligned. And don't miss our free Introduction to Human Design workshop, available through the Soul Aligned Sisters online school. Whether you're just starting out or deepening your knowledge, there's something there for everyone. Stay tuned for more episodes as we continue to uncover the magic of human design. Until next time, stay aligned and keep living your most magical life.